Hi everybody, welcome to my latest video. I'm hiding at the side of the house because there's been a big flurry of activity of work at the front and I don't want to spoil the surprise. I've done a lot of stuff with stonework, I've put in a step, and I've made some decisions, and I'm just really happy with how things are progressing. So let's get into the video. I hope you enjoy this one, and I'll see you again at the end. So it looks sunny and glorious out here, but it is actually very cold and windy. And I'm not massively eager to get out there to start working. But we have rain on the horizon in a few days, which is great news, but it means that I'm gonna wanna get some cementing done on this front porch thing before the rains come. I'd really love to get the next layer of stones going across, and I'd love to figure out what I'm doing with the staircase, because until I do that, I can't cut this second mortise and finish off the work on the actual wooden structure for the front. I did manage a little flurry of activity yesterday where I cemented in the cornerstones. Previous to that, they were just sort of sitting on each other, and I've also extended this wall out this way as well so that it can contain the gravel. And when I put the level back onto this top stone and sort of extend it over here to the rough level of the gravel on this side, it's looking like it's about the right height. So that's level-ish. So that means that once I get a delivery of gravel and once I have this wall built up, I'll be able to sort of fill it all up and I'll know the flat level of the floor. But you know what? As I'm explaining this stuff, I'm kind of confusing even myself. So it's probably hard to visualize and easier if I just get into the work and push on and get it done and then show you as I go. But it's gonna be kind of a short day of work because, believe it or not, the window guy should be on his way. He's bringing the window. It's not finished, it needs glass, it needs stain, but I think he's gonna stick it in the hole, see how it all fits. So that's exciting. Hopefully he'll arrive very soon. And then at 2 o'clock this afternoon, it's about 10 a.m. now, I'm going on a hike. So it's gonna be a pretty short day of work, but I'm gonna see what I can get done. And my goal is to build up this little stone wall a little bit more so I can visualize the stairs a bit better. But before I get going on the work, and happy news, my car is back, guys. It cost me 130 euros, as I reported in the last video, and it was a problem with the key barrel. So I got a new part, I got some new keys, and the car is back, and I'm mobile once again. But right now, let's get digging and see how far I can get with the work today. Okay, that looks good. Not massively important that it's super duper level, but it is actually surprisingly super duper level, so that's good. And I'm gonna fill this now with a lime and sand mix just to make a base to run a stone across here afterwards. All right, I'm pretty pleased with this. It gives me a nice sturdy base to build the steps onto. But that's a job for another day because right now I've got to clean my tools, I've got to clean myself and get ready to go on a walk up the Gardenia mountain range, which is the hill just right here. And believe it or not, I haven't really explored it very much at all. So I'm going to be meeting some friends and their dogs, and we're going to go for a stroll on the Gardenias, and I'm going to take you along with me. So the hike was really great. The gardenias are beautiful. Went with some good friends. Sunny day, cute dogs, and it was just a little bit of exertion and nothing too crazy, and it was nice to get outside and enjoy the lovely nature that's around us. But right now, it's all about laying this big long stone right here across this span, hopefully as a future step. I kind of can visualize everything. I'm not exactly sure yet how the heights are going to work out, but I have a few ideas to be able to make that all work in the future. The first thing I want to do is just continue the wall along so that I can start building up the rest of the wall and then get to the second tower. So I'm going to get some lime down, put this monster stone in place. It was quite hilarious trying to move it over here actually, but I got it done in the end, slow and steady as with everything. And then once I get this stone in, I have an update on the window. I have to say, I'm really quite pleased with how this is turning out. Let's get this stuff out of the way and see if we can take a look from farther back. Yeah, I think this is going to be really cool. My idea for the stairs is to have, I'm going to have patio stones of some kind, probably natural stone and a whole bunch of different patterns, so not squares, it'll be just jaggedy stones. And then for the tops of the stairs, I'll carry sort of the patio stones down and they'll maybe overhang just a little bit. So that's going to go on top of this, and so you only see the front face of these stones when you're walking up them. So the stuff behind here is to just build up so that I have a place to lay the future patio stones, which is not something I'll be doing anytime soon. I'll finish everything before I even think about the patio stones. So I've got to fill it all up with gravel, and I've got loads more work to do. The next thing I want to do is start building across this way so I can then start constructing the second tower. But before I get to that next little flurry of work activity, I wanted to update you guys on the window. Window man appeared yesterday morning at 10 a.m. as he said. As you can see, there's still no window, but he came with the frame. So basically just the outside part that the 2 windows will then sit inside. And his goal was to bring the frame down and try to see if it fit nice and snugly into the window hole that he would have measured months ago when he first came to give me a quote on the project. So the window frame didn't actually fit in. It's just a little bit too big, but all he has to do is plane down some of the sides. So he took a couple more measurements and he's gonna do that work while he waits for the glass. And he still needs to stain it a couple more times as well, put the handles on the windows, and he also asked me about how I want the screen fitted on as well. And I've just decided to go with a permanent screen on the outside that's affixed to the outside of the window. It's just what I'm used to. Being a Canadian, we have windows with screens. They don't open, they don't come out, and I really don't understand the purpose of a window without a screen in a place with loads of bugs. It probably doesn't make much sense because I don't have a screen door, but that's something that I'll aspire to in the future. So the screen is kind of future-proofing me. Even though bugs can get in many other places, it's kind of ridiculous perhaps right now, but just having a screen in the window will give me a little bit of peace of mind for the creepy crawlies. So that's the window update. He's hoping to have the glass tomorrow, which is Friday, and then there was mention of an install on Monday. Whether this happens or not, I do not know. It's supposed to absolutely chuck it down with rain next week, so it's probably not a good time to install a window. But that's the latest. I was excited to see his face. I was excited to see the window, and I think it's gonna look great when this thing actually does finally appear in finished form and ends up in my wall. But enough window talk. I'm here to do some stonework today, so let's carry on with this wall. So first thing I wanna do for this next phase is try to figure out where I actually want the tower. And I'm just gonna be eyeballing this, kind of imagining that will come off square from the wall, and then follow this along and just make a mark there. And then doing the same on the other side. Again, just totally rough, somewhere around there. So in between those 2 pink lines is the width of the door, and I want the staircase to be a little wider than the door. Nothing crazy grand, but something just a little bit bigger. So maybe somewhere around there, and maybe on the other side somewhere around there. I'll come and measure this out later on, but it just gives me an idea of what I'm working with. So that means I want to find a stone that's gonna come over this little hole there to this pink line, and then I'll find another stone to go in the middle. Guess I don't need this thing. Be gone. So that one could work there, but I don't really like this end here. It's kind of sloped in a funny way. And that space over there will be too big for these ones, so I'd need to go to the pile and look for a different stone. But now that I think about it, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the side of the staircase. I don't know if there's going to be a diagonal coming down or what on earth I'm going to do. Maybe I'll just have the tower coming directly up from here. But instead of making decisions right now, I think what I'll do is shift this stone all the way down to that end and start building from this side. And then when I continue work on this tomorrow, perhaps an idea will have come to me in a dream or something. Maybe I'll do a drawing like a normal person. And yeah, I can make decisions on this tomorrow. So right now I'm gonna get this one in place there and probably another one on top, and then call it on work for today. Actually, that is a lie. I've mixed up some cement. I've found a stone that I'm gonna put across there. I've made a decision. That stone's ready to go in, but I'm tired and I really just can't be bothered to keep working. So I'm going to leave the cement in the polytunnel for tomorrow and get these things in place then. So I'm going to enjoy this lovely evening, and I'll see you tomorrow for some more stonework. Good morning from another blue sky, sunny, glorious day, even though it is very chilly. The cement is back, the dry mix. Normally I wouldn't actually use cement at all with stone, I'd use lime, but I had a bag of cement kicking around and the shop was out of lime. So just because it's an outdoor wall, I don't feel quite as bad about using it. I wouldn't use it on my building ever because it's just too hard for the stone and it doesn't breathe and it's just not good. But for something like this, I don't feel so bad. However, I will pick up lime the next time I'm in the shop. And so everything out here is as I left it yesterday, and I'm gonna put these 2 stones in place for sure. And I'm also gonna try to use that same mix there to build up the tower. So before we get started, before I wet the mix, I'm gonna find some short stones to start making a tower like I did on that side. And so what I wanna do is find some stones that have pretty nice ends that are square. So this one's a little bit small. This one's a little bit too rectangular. But this one looks just right. And this one looks pretty good as well. That one's too small. That one's too crooked. That one could be okay. This one, who knows what's even going on there. So some of them have square ends, and this one, I don't even know what I'll use this one for. That's looking pretty crazy. So I'm gonna drag a few potential stones over to my cutting area and just have them there so that when I need them, I can mark the size that I need and get them cut straight away. Actually, some of these are quite big, so I'm just gonna set up a little cutting area right here instead, rather than dragging these giant stones all the way over there for no reason. So, this can be my workbench. So that's 2. The pickings are a little slim. That won't work. This one's a solid nope. Same for that end. But these 2 actually could work as well. So I've got options. And now I'm going to mix up some cement and get back to work. The cement is mixed. It's a little gloopier than I would have liked it. I've got a little tray down here for me to work with. And I'm gonna work on getting these 2 stones here in place. But before I do that, I've got these little tubes here. And my idea was to embed them into the wall. So it's got this geotextile stuff zip tied onto the end so that gunk doesn't get in. And I guess the idea with this is that water will be able to escape if it gets trapped behind the wall. Possibly overkill, possibly not, but I'll put one here. I'll put one over there as well. And you won't really see it from either side, so it just seems like a smart thing to do. So I'm going to work away at putting this brick in place, or this piece of stone, or whatever the heck it is. And then I'm going to turn the camera off and just keep going with the work. And sometimes I get comments from people saying that I talk too much and don't show enough of the work. That's fair. There's probably plenty of channels that show only work and don't talk. Mine is more of an explainy kind of channel as I go. It's just the way my videos are, and I'm okay with that, and a lot of you guys out there like that too. But as far as the working and what I show goes, everything I film, I have to edit, and filming the work is tricky, and editing it all takes a lot of time. So I'll often just film a section, film a certain thing, and then speed everything along, or turn the camera off and come back and show the results. If I filmed every single thing I was doing, I wouldn't do anything, and I already go incredibly, incredibly slow. So it's not really possible. And I like to have different shots. I like to have different angles. For me, that's what makes things interesting. I would like to watch that, so that's what I like to do. And that takes a lot of time. And I'm one person, so the amount of time I spend moving the tripod around, changing the angles and all that, it really makes the work take a long time. So this is kind of how I do things. I feel like it works for me. It makes this actually feasible, and it means that I can actually get stuff done even at my slow pace. So what I'm gonna do now is just get this brick in place. It's looking pretty good. And then the camera's gonna go off, and I'll come back when that other brick is in place and when I'm working on the tower and cutting the small bricks for that. So this is just kind of what works for me, and it means you're not spending loads of time watching the same thing over and over again. And it's just how it is. It's how it's gotta be, because editing and filming does take a long time. So yeah, brick is in place. Brick number one, stone number one, whatever these things are. I'm gonna do this guy next, and I'll check in again when I have more of a wall to show you. But first, let's just clean up some of this mess at the front. I'm gonna come back and point this with a mix of fine sand and lime putty, which will be the same as what I have on the house there. So hopefully that'll make these stones stand out nicely. So if I can tidy this up now, it means I won't have to scrape it away later on. And you can see I've put that little pipe in there, and I'll also take some of this stuff away as well, because it's kind of a waste just sitting here. Okay, I'm gonna carry on with work on the wall. I'll see you guys very soon through the power of editing. Okay, the second stone is in. It's all dusty because I've been doing a bunch of grinding, and that's because I want to stick this stone in going that way, and that stone's in the way. So let's do a bit of bashy bashy. So I have a feeling this one might be a bit tricky to visualize at this stage, but trust me when I say I have a vision, I kind of have a plan. And so I'm gonna wanna just maybe tap that over a little bit that way to square it off. And I can see that it's not level. It's not so far off, but it needs a little bit of work. So I'm gonna square this, level it by putting some stuff under there. And then you'll see me again when I'm ready to do the tower, which I keep saying, but I thought I'd show you this little stage as well, because I kind of made the decision to go this way on the fly. And then with the steps, I'll probably end up removing this. I'll have them quite shallow, but deep. So I'll do one more probably to go to the top, and then eventually I'll have another step down here as well. So maybe 3 steps, maybe 4. We will see. Good morning. It's a brand new day, and it is very, very frosty out here. I'm up early because I want to push on with stuff before the rains come, I think tomorrow night. I have a wheelbarrow of a cement sand mix over there that I mixed up last night, and I stopped working because instead of putting more stones on top of the wall, I thought it would be wise to allow the cement to cure a little bit. Everything's a little bit higgledy-piggledy, a little bit wobbly, definitely very squinty, and I'm thinking I should run a string line to try to straighten everything up. I guess I'm going for the rustic look, but that's getting a little bit ridiculous now, and as I go higher, I want things to possibly look a little bit more straight because the wall won't be hidden by the flowers and foliage down at the bottom. So yesterday I did have a flurry of activity, but instead of doing the tower, I switched focus to the step, and I basically dug out some more of the step area further towards the house. I put in a whole bunch of stones and gravel and tamped it all down and made a nice little base to walk on because, as I said, I didn't want to go higher in the tower because the stones underneath were still a bit wobbly, but I still wanted to push on with stuff, and making a stair is going to improve my life even though it's still just one stair. The front part of the house has always been this treacherous slope, and I often find myself slipping. So having that step in, even though it's not complete, allows me to do the next step on top of it and just have a safer exit to my house as well. So this morning I'm just going to do two things. I'm going to finally run a string line across this whole thing so I can continue working off camera on the other side of the stairs, and I'm going to bring out the piece of wood so I can mark out the second mortise so that when it starts to rain I can go into the polytunnel and continue working on the woodworking. Good morning, Mikey. How's it going? It's a lovely sunny day, if a bit chilly, but you've got your warm fuzzy coat on, so you're fine. So I think I've got a couple of stakes in here. I've got quite a few stakes. Why I didn't run a string line at the beginning is anybody's guess, but sometimes you just get lazy, really, and just want to get on with things, but I feel like it's definitely a wise move now. So I'll put one stake in here where this green thing is, one on the other side, and that's going to allow me to visualize where this thing needs to continue. So I'll get rid of that stone, dig it all out, and it's also going to allow me to straighten up the wall. I guess when you're working with these stones, you can see they're not straight. That's got a big gash out of the side. You know, it's going to look a little bit nuts, but if I can get it to look a little less nuts, that would be very good. It's just so nice to have a stair. Just takes away some of the treachery when I'm walking out my front door, because nobody wants treachery when they leave their house. So I think let's stick it somewhere around here. So I was just about ready to bash this guy in to the ground, but I've had a visitor, and she's brought me some exciting things. Hi, Sinead. Good morning.
That's how I roll. That's how I roll.
Never comes without a gift, an offering.
Sticks. I brought sticks.
So I've got some kindling and some beautiful, beautiful lemons from her tree, and a blood orange also from her tree. So that's very exciting. Thank you very much.
Not a bother. Not a bother. The tree had a total of 4 blood oranges,
yeah?
So you are one of the lucky people.
Oh, that's very, very kind of you. Thank you. So now she's looking for some stuff to affix stuff to stop the rain. The rains are coming, and the yurt needs a couple of little things still to keep the rain out 100%. So She's here preparing for that. Are you excited? Are you excited for these rains?
Yeah, I am, because everyone just keeps talking about how bad the winter is here. Wee, 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 wee. And I haven't seen it.
You'll see it, my friend. You'll see it. It's going to rain for a full week. It's not going to be cold, but it was cold this morning. And Sinead's got a very exciting project on, not on the go, but about to begin. And we'll check on that probably in the next video, depending on the rain.
Please.
Are you excited to share? Do you want to give us a sneak preview of what's happening?
No, it's a surprise.
Okay, it's a surprise. All right. So this new project will happen soon.
Yeah.
And I'll share it when it does. But right now, I've got a string line to run. Sinead's got some rain prep to do, and we're just gonna get on with it. So I will see you later. Bye!
Toodaloo.
All right, it's time for Bashy Bashy. Let's get this thing into the ground. So knots are definitely not my strength. I truly wish I knew how to do knots, but I don't, so I'll just granny knot this thing. Well, I gotta say, it's not looking amazing. It could be worse. Definitely a lesson in using string lines. So you can see this part kind of comes out a bit, but definitely nothing I can't fix. And I'm happy with that corner there, and also with where the stair is as well. And this is just gonna allow me to know where to dig so I can continue things along. So, not terrible, not amazing, but I'm medium happy. Oops, I wonder how many times I'll trip over this string line. I should probably remove it when I'm not working. So I'm gonna shift this piece of wood along so that the mortise on this side is lined up with the center of this post area here. And that's gonna allow me to mark out the second mortise, which will then allow me to do a whole bunch of woodworking when it's raining in my little workshop in here. I've got loads of other wood to prepare, including the rafters and the braces. But that's it from this video. The camera is going off because I want to use that cement that's behind me, and I've got a lot of stuff to do to prepare for the rain as well. So I'm just gonna push on with the work, and in the next video, I'll hopefully have some more stone stuff done, and we'll be cracking on with the woodwork. So I feel like I got a lot of stuff done in this one. I'm really, really happy with how the stairs are coming along, or the one stair at least, and it gives me an idea of what I want to do for the rest of it. So visualizing things, working things out as I go is sort of how I work, and things seem to be mostly going to plan except for the crooked front wall, but I'll fix that at some point on the next level. So that's all from this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're liking the Pergola series. Any questions, comments, whatever, please leave them below. And thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video.